Have you ever wondered why some narcissists seem to tremble in your presence, while others see you as an easy target? The truth is, there's a profound psychological reason, and Carl Jung once left clues about it in his private notes. According to Jung's secret classification system, not all empaths are the same. There are 5 distinct archetypes, each carrying its own unique psychological code. And when that code is activated, the familiar tricks of the narcissist instantly lose their power. What most people don't realize is this: you are not simply a sensitive person. You are a specific empath archetype with a unique defense mechanism. The problem is, most of us were never taught how to activate that strength. Have you ever noticed that just by being authentic, you can leave some people unsettled, even defensive? That may be the very sign that you carry within you a power Jung called the natural defense of the empath. In the next few minutes, you'll discover the 5 deadliest empath types, and perhaps you'll see yourself in one of them. Remember, this isn't a label. It's a key that unlocks the hidden potential within you. And if you're ready to release this energy and transform sensitivity into strength, don't look away, because what you're about to hear may forever change the way you see yourself. Type 1. The reflective empath. Have you ever wondered why your very presence alone can make someone unsettled, even provoke intense reactions, even though all you did was remain true to yourself? If you recognize this, you may belong to the rare group Carl Jung called the reflective empath. What sets you apart is not simply your sensitivity, but an almost metaphysical psychological power. You are a living mirror. You don't just see what others display on the surface. You reflect back the hidden depths they are desperately trying to conceal, the fragments of the shadow they fear the most. Before becoming aware of this gift, you may have felt lost, even doubted your own perceptions. You were vulnerable to gaslighting, easily manipulated into asking yourself, "Am I seeing this wrong?" Because every time you spoke the truth of what you saw, others recoiled as if you had touched an old wound that had never healed. But pause for a moment and recognize their intense reaction is proof of your power. When you begin to embrace your role as a conscious mirror, something extraordinary happens. You no longer unconsciously absorb emotions. Instead, you reflect them back with clarity. You become the catalyst that shatters the false self, not through attack, but through the quiet strength of authenticity. If reading this sends a shiver through you, it is no accident, because this is about you. You may have once been dismissed as too sensitive, but in truth, you carry within you a rare and formidable gift, the power to make masks fall with nothing more than a clear gaze. And in recognizing this, you'll understand why some avoid you, while others respect you deeply, even if they cannot explain why. You are the reflective empath, a mirror that cannot be dimmed, a truth that cannot be distorted, a living reminder that, by simply showing up in your fullness, you dissolve the falsehood around you. Type 2. The intuitive empath. Have you ever gone through a moment when, after a single glance at someone, you just know their words don't match what they truly want? A fleeting sensation in the body, a stab at the chest, a cold ripple down the spine, or simply an uneasy hush. And then reason steps in and whispers, "You're just imagining it." If you've lived inside that tug-of-war, congratulations, you may be an intuitive empath, a rare archetype Jung likened to humanity's psychological X-ray vision. Unlike the reflective empath, you do not merely respond to truths already revealed. You perceive hidden patterns even before they fully form. You read the rhythm beneath speech, detecting subtle asymmetries between what people show and what they conceal. The world calls it intuition, Jung called it the intellect of the unconscious operating through you. Before you became aware of this gift, you may have found yourself constantly dismissing your own sense, thinking you're paranoid, fanciful, or too sensitive. But what you experience is pattern recognition working beneath consciousness, a kind of knowing that does not require reasoning. And the miracle is, once you stop denying it, you realize your body knew the truth long before your mind could analyze it. People call you a mind reader, but you are not manipulating anyone. You simply see the whole picture while most of the world is busy staring at the pieces. That is why narcissists fear you. Their tricks have not yet fully unfolded when you have already seen the move. If you've been right time and again, but hesitated to trust yourself, understand that your doubt is not proof you're wrong. It's evidence that society taught you to mistrust intuition in favor of reason. For you, intuition is not secondary. It is the secret map that guides you through the dark territories where reason is blind. And once you embrace this gift, you will find you no longer need others to validate the truths you sense. You become living proof that intuition is the deepest intelligence of the soul. You are the intuitive empath, the one who sees lightning before the clouds gather, who can hear the music others have not yet known. And when you learn to trust that quiet whisper, you not only find your own way, you become a lantern for those still lost in the dark. Type 3. The Boundary Empath. Have you ever stepped into a room filled with chaotic emotions and, within minutes, felt as if you were being swept into a storm that wasn't even yours? Your heart races, your mind drifts, and you ask yourself, are these my feelings, or am I living someone else's emotions? If this resonates with you, chances are you are a boundary empath, the rare archetype Jung saw as the embodiment of impenetrable psychological sovereignty. Before recognizing your strength, you may have felt like a sponge, absorbing everything, the sadness, anger, anxiety, and joy of others, until you could no longer distinguish where you ended and they began. You may have felt drained, exhausted, even wondered if you were losing your identity. But let me tell you this, that chaos is not weakness. It is the sign of a rare and powerful gift within you. When activated, the boundary empath does not need to build walls, escape the crowd, or turn cold to stay safe. Instead, you learn to stand in the middle of the storm and recognize this is me, that is not me. The moment you sense that subtle difference, a natural, energetic immune system comes alive. You don't block emotions from coming in, you simply return them to their true source. And suddenly, you are no longer drowning, you become the navigator. This is a profound freedom, to feel everything without losing yourself. You become living proof that compassion does not mean dissolving, it means staying whole, even as you open to others. Think about it. In a world growing more chaotic, you are the mountain standing firm amid turbulent seas. Others may unleash their storms around you, but you will not be swept away. You don't need to shout your boundaries because your very presence is the boundary. If you have ever felt overwhelmed, know this. You were not born to drown forever. You were born to discern, to reclaim the clarity of your own self, and from that place, to become a living testament that the strongest compassion always walks hand in hand with the firmest sovereignty. You are the boundary empath, the one who can enter any space without losing yourself, the one who proves that true love is not about dissolving, but about meeting each other in wholeness. Type 4. The Transmutative Empath. Have you ever wondered why people come to you carrying their exhaustion, anger, or despair, and leave feeling lighter, while you're left heavy, drained, and depleted? If you've ever been the emotional container for others, chances are you are a transmutative empath. The rare type Jung calls the psychological alchemist. Before recognizing your power, you were like an open vessel, taking in all the emotional toxins others could not bear to hold. You carried their burdens, cried their tears, felt their pain, and in that exhaustion, you may have asked yourself, was I born only to suffer? But the truth is the opposite. You were born to transform. The transmutative empath doesn't just absorb. Once activated, you transform darkness into light, pain into strength, poison into wisdom. You do not resist negative energy, nor do you run from it. You allow it to move through you, and then let the inner process of your soul work its miracle. Fear becomes courage, hatred becomes understanding, chaos becomes peace. This is not magic. It is the deep psychological law Jung called spiritual alchemy. When you stop seeing yourself as a victim of absorption and begin to see yourself as the alchemist, everything changes. Negative energy no longer harms you. Instead, it becomes fuel for the growth of your soul. Imagine this. You walk into a room filled with resentment, and instead of being crushed by it, you quietly shift that energy into something else. An atmosphere where everyone present feels easier, calmer. Not because you try to fix them, but because your very nature is a psychological furnace. If you have often felt exhausted by carrying others' emotions, know this. Within you lies a secret. You are not the container, you are the fire. And fire is never destroyed by flame, it only turns everything into ash and light. You are the transmutative empath, the one who can sit in the middle of the storm and not be swallowed, because you know how to turn the storm itself into a new sky. You are the living proof that even darkness, when it passes through the right heart, can become light. Type 5. The Sovereign Empath. Perhaps you've spent a lifetime searching for approving eyes, kind words, or recognition to confirm your worth. But then, at some moment, you realize that all of these are fragile. They come and go, and you never truly touch the peace within. If you're reading this and find yourself nodding, you may very well be the sovereign empath, the rare archetype Jung described as the soul that has reached complete self-sovereignty. Before awakening, you may have been the one easily swayed by others' gaze, living to please, losing yourself in the role of the nice one, the agreeable one, the lovable one. But look back. Wasn't it the betrayals and the moments of being used that quietly taught you external validation would never be enough? The moment you paused and asked, "Is this true for me?" instead of, "Will others accept this?" This is what we mean. That was when you stepped into the realm of the sovereign empath. Here, you are no longer a mirror for others to project onto, nor a container for them to pour their emotions into. You become a closed yet radiant universe, where worth is not borrowed but shines from within. Once you activate this capacity, every manipulative trick rooted in guilt, praise, acceptance, or rejection loses its power. No one can touch the core of your being. This is the liberation Jung called the ultimate psychological freedom, when you no longer need to prove yourself, to ask for permission to exist, or to wear masks just to fit into someone else's gaze. You are not cold, nor arrogant, you are simply utterly authentic. And it is this authenticity that makes you untouchable. Notice this. Perhaps you once changed the way you spoke, laughed, even dreamed, just to be accepted. But the day you stopped doing that, the day you lived and breathed to your own rhythm, was the day every invisible chain snapped. The narcissists lost their leverage, society lost its trap, and you, for the first time, stood firmly in the home of your soul. You are the sovereign empath, rare, radiant, and free, the one who no longer seeks light in another's eyes because you have become the torch, the one who no longer asks for permission because your very existence is the affirmation. And as you walk through this world, you are not only protected from manipulation, you become the living proof that the greatest human freedom is to be yourself, unshaken by any gaze. And when we look back at the 5 archetypes Jung left us, reflective, intuitive, boundary, transmutative, and sovereign, we realize a profound truth. Sensitivity was never a burden. It is a map, a code, a pathway leading you back to yourself. Each archetype is a gateway into a different form of intelligence, and when you discover your true essence, you don't just find protection against manipulation, you uncover a silent power. The power to live as you truly are. Carl Jung once wrote, "Wholeness is not achieved by cutting off the darkness, but by integrating the light and the dark within the same soul." That is also today's reminder for you. You don't need to become someone else to feel safe. You only need to activate the unique potential within you. When that happens, masks fall away, falsehoods dissolve, and what remains is your clear and radiant self. Remember, you are not the fragile victim the world may have called you. You are living proof that sensitivity, when made conscious, becomes strength. And once you step onto the path of activation, you will realize you were never weak. You were only on the journey back to your innate power. If these words resonate with you, leave your mark in the comments below. Share your story, because it may become the torch that lights the way for another empath still wandering in the dark. And if you want to keep unfolding this journey, don't forget to subscribe. Together we are creating a community where sensitivity is no longer seen as a burden, but honored as a sacred form of intelligence. You are here not by accident. The world needs your light,